My grandfather was a very peaceful man. More than anything, he was so patient, and he wanted me to learn everything. It was so important to him. He wanted me to be independent and strong and confident. I never really thought I was very good at love, a lot like math and ice skating. I felt like I just could never measure up. She's a beauty, isn't she? I love the colors. So pretty, perfect condition. I love it.
Thank you so much for coming back and seeing me and Desi. I hope you had a great, happy, joyous Christmas and New Year, and thank you so much for spending a little bit of your time with me on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. It was one thing after another. There was snow, there was ice, there was record cold temperature, there was a blizzard, there was fog. I got lost up north. You name it, we had it, but got through it, had a wonderful time. I had a nice kind of sexy date on New Year's Eve. Got to spend the most beautiful day and night with my family on New Year's. It was wonderful. And I think of the time that I got to spend with you, that was kind of a surprise. That was such a joy to me. So thank you so much for being here. I just love you. You know that, don't you? Yeah, you do. Well, if you've been with me a long time, and so many of you have, I can't start out my channel until I do the New Year's tag. And this is kind of a very interesting tag about the year that we just spent living. And I think it's important to go through, did we change? What are we proud of? What are we ashamed of? What is some of the hardest lessons that we learned and some of the most beautiful lessons that we learned? What is it like to be a woman and our age right now? And I think there's something about the New Year's tag that makes us creators dig very, very deep and face a lot of topics and issues that maybe we wouldn't talk about. The first question is, how would I rate 2022 on a scale of 1 to 10? And before I do that, I just want to say 2022 was probably the roughest year I've had in the last 10 years for so many different reasons. I had some very serious health issues for the first time. I had a very painful interaction with a man that I dated, and it hurt my heart, and it hurt for a while. I had a little dip in my channel, and I got a little scared. There were a lot of different things that were going on. They they just were swirling around and churning. And the year was unlike a year that I can ever remember. It was a year of change. It was a year of truly looking at who I was. It was the best of times and it was the worst of times. I would give 2022 my highest rating of any year since I've been doing this. I'd give it a 9. Why? Yeah, some would say, what are you giving it a 9 for? It was a miserable year. I got to see how strong I am. I got to conquer fears that I've had all my life. I thought I was so afraid of so many things, and then actually when faced with that thing, I wasn't afraid. Now, I had a lot of fabulous interactions with my family, my friends, and with you. But if I had to pick one blockbuster memory, it would be that magical morning in September when the sun was shining and I'm driving to Fat Boy Burger Joint. And you know who's waiting there for me? My 2 very best friends from grade school, middle school, high school, and beyond. I hadn't seen those beautiful ladies since 1980. That overwhelming feeling of get out of my car as fast as I can and run over to them and hug them. You know, I never had any brothers or sisters. I think that seeing Ellen and Barb again was probably the closest thing that I will ever come to knowing what it's like to have siblings. It was pure magic, and it was love, it was nostalgia, it was memories, it was support, it was love. Those 2 women coming to my town, our old town, and hanging out was my best memory of 2022.
From now until the end of time, I'll always be that little girl playing records in her room and dreaming all those dreams. The biggest thing that changed about me in 2022 is the quality of my emotional health, the quality of my life. And so let me tell you what happened. In the fall, I started to have some medical issues. I had an intestinal infection, and so I had to have a lot of tests. I had scans and MRIs and blood tests and you name it. And a lot of those tests came back really iffy. And I always thought my whole life, even in my 20s, if I was ever faced with a medical issue, well, I would just fall apart. So that fear was always within me. I better make hay while I can, because who knows what tomorrow brings. There was always that little cloud over my head. Well, when I actually was faced with these miserable test results, I wasn't scared. One day is an eternity. One day of living is an amazing day that's full of love and learning and the beauties of life and the connections that we all make. And I felt I'll make the most of the time that I have left. And I felt good about my life, that I felt not just good about the life that I led.
I felt everything. I felt wistful about it. I felt sad about some opportunities that I screwed up. But overall, it's just like the movie. I realized I had a wonderful life. Once you face the number one fear that you have and you realize it doesn't have any power over you anymore, your life is beautiful and you feel so free. In 2022, what is the very favorite video that I filmed and why? And I actually have two favorites, and I can't decide which one I like better. But what's so ironic about my picks is one that I love doing so much got practically no views at all. And the other one that I loved so much got over 600,000 views, the biggest video I ever had. So what does that tell you? I don't know. I wish I could figure it out. But the time that I spent working on the Vivian Meyer video that I did, I cannot tell you how happy I was. I got to go to downtown Grand Rapids and I was on the street for about 12 hours. I was filming people, strangers. I was talking to them. I was taking their picture. I had somebody with me that was filming me, filming people. It was so exciting. I had never done anything like that before, and I really felt like I got into Vivian Meyer's shoes. And, you know, one of the reasons I never went out and did that again last year was because I loved it so much. And I felt that, well, I felt I could fall into being a street photographer just like that. It was so exhilarating. I loved it. The other video that I loved that you did like was I was going through how I downsized and how I learned to love living alone. And you seem to really enjoy that video like no other that I've ever done. And I thought about it for a while, and I think the reason why that video did so well was it was right in the middle of when I thought I might not make it. And I was talking about my friend Dani, talking about enjoying the day. She wasn't dying that day. She was going to enjoy the time she had left. She was dying of cancer. But that glorious day belonged to her, and she was going to have a good time. And I told Dani's story, and I think it moved people. Two makeup products that truly did blow me away. And I have two skincare products that equally blew me away for my skin. I have little lines that are coming in around my mouth. I've got little lines here. So I started using this Boots number 7 Instant Illusions, and this is kind of a cream that you kind of tap in to your little line or whatever you want to, smooth out. And what it does is it diffuses the light. So the other makeup product that I loved, I know you've guessed it, is the Halo Glow. I use it as a primer. I mix it with my foundation. I make Desi wear it. I mean, I love it. It's beautiful. It's powerful. I hope they never stop making it. The price is right and it's great. I don't really use a lot of products on my skin, but I do take very good care of my skin. And in the morning, I use this serum. This is by El Generist, and it is a plant collagen concoction. And I have tried to quit this 3 times because I've never really stuck with a skincare product for more than a couple years, other than my beloved rosehip seed oil and my pumpkin seed oil. I've used that forever. But when it comes to a serum or a cream, I usually don't stick with those for a very long time. I like to try new things, but every single time I have tried to quit this serum, my skin gets so dry that I go running back to it. There was one channel that inspired me so much on so many different levels, and there aren't even any women on the channel, which is kind of strange, but the channel is called Adventure Archives, and it is 2 brothers and a cousin and a neighbor, and they go off and they hike in the Smoky Mountains. They hike through terrain that is so astonishingly beautiful, sometimes dangerous. Their videos are usually an hour and a half. They are using a Sony camera that is the most beautiful camera I've ever seen. Their skill as they're taking you down the trail of showing you not only the panoramic view of where they're hiking, but they show you the detail of the tiny little plants and flowers that you see along the way. There are places I will never get to in my life. I am never going to be able to hike to the top of the Smoky Mountains. But after I watch their videos, I feel like I just hiked the Smoky Mountains. There are other channels of hikers that are women and are women in their 60s, and I'm just discovering them, and they are phenomenal. So I will link their channels too. But yeah, it's all good. The next question is, what is the strangest comment that you received under a video in 2022? Oh, I get a lot of strange comments. So many comments. I can't even begin to address so many of them. But there was one I got last week that really did impress me. And they said, I cannot believe that you're going to be moving to some hick town in northern Michigan and expect anybody to go with you. You're going to end up being some fat old grandma hanging out with your grandkids playing cards, and you're going to have us watch you hang your wash on some clothesline like it's 1925. I'm out. I think that what they did was they tapped into the fear that I showed you. I didn't know whether you'd come with me, but for a lot of different reasons. And maybe they tapped into something that I was truly afraid of. There are a lot of us here that are moving to be close to our grandchildren. And that does not mean we're going to pack on the pounds and start hanging our wash on some clothesline. Although that does sound kind of fun, doesn't it?
Love never fails. You think that's true? It must be true, right? think we're ever too old to be good at love. And I'm also pretty sure that there'd be no such thing as high heels or lipstick if it wasn't for love.
One thing I've always said is when I started YouTube, everything was so new in 2015, and it seemed like the advertisers just went after women and made us feel that our only value was to hold up a product and say, hey, I love this shampoo. Look what it does for my hair. Like, you really weren't interested in me or how I was feeling or how I was coping with being a mature woman in a society that is so youth-oriented. No, you just really want to know about my shampoo. Well, the advertisers, as the years went on, they started upping the ante, and now they offer us so much money to hold up products, and you can lose yourself. My proudest accomplishment in 2022 was I found a comfort zone here that I have never known. I feel like I can talk about anything, that you can talk about anything, that we can put our cards on the table and we're just walking each other home, wherever it takes us. And this channel is not dominated by the advertisers, by the money, by the enormous amount of perks that you get if you say something positive about a product that you don't believe in. But I followed my passion, and I'm happy. I can't wait for the next video. It's been almost 8 years. That's a good sign. We're all still together and we're growing. So, quote about love never fails. It almost took my breath away, and my immediate reaction to reading that was, yes, it does. It does fail. It fails all the time.
Love never does fail. It's people who fail. It's people who fail to love.
My word for 2023 is going to be, get ready, Donovan, mellow. I want to be mellow. I know Eleanor Roosevelt always said, do something every day that scares you. Well, you know, I've had a whole lifetime of that, and I don't want to do that in 2023. I don't want to be scared. I don't want any drama. I want to move towards joy.
Oh my. It's been almost 60 years since my grandfather died. But the love he had for me lives on. Love never fails. The love that he had for me enables me to love my grandchildren. And if I can have half the impact on them that he had on me, it'll be a very, very good life.
2022 changed me as a person, as a woman, as a mother, as a friend, as a creator. We are not coordinated. We're starting out the year and we're not coordinated. I have a green shirt on and he has a blue bow tie on. I should probably change my outfit to match. What do you think? Should I change my outfit to match? Okay. I got to change my outfit. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. It's always so wonderful to start the new year with such a heart-to-heart discussion. Please have yourself a wonderful, happy, safe, brand new week. And when you're done with your week, you come back and see me and Desi, okay? All right, it's a deal. We'll be here.
Oh my goodness. These are so bad. You know I have to get this for the neighbor who hates me. By the way, I just saw the neighbor who hates me. We had a little Christmas celebration. He told me I was the worst gift giver he ever knew.